Hello, this is On Imagination with Pando and the Healing Garden. So we are going to, all right, I got to sit down and get right down to this. I am talking about a person being an introvert, a person being shy. And I have this every bone in my body screaming, they're not really shy. That is a trauma response from narcissist abuse. I know, it feels like it. And what about the people who claim they're just wallflowers? They might be. Or is it trauma abuse from not being allowed to use your own voice? Not using your own voice, not being allowed to use your own voice. There's a lot of illogic all over this. And I definitely don't want to be insensitive to other people. And I certainly don't want to tell people what they are. That's for you to decide. But I want to open this door and say, let's discuss the possibility that the concept of an introvert and a wallflower, logic tells me 100% that those are absolutely symptoms of narcissist abuse, because as children and infants, we were not allowed to speak. That is what it feels like. That is what it feels like 100%. That you are a wallflower in ratio to how little you were allowed to talk as a child. So much so that your identity is now wrapped up in the concept that you should not use your voice. For me, a voice are your legs. And when people don't talk, for me, I see broken legs and they're sitting in a wheelchair. For no other reason than they were told they weren't allowed to stand. That's right. That's what I see. So when somebody says, oh no, I'm a wallflower, I'm just shy. I have yet to meet a single shy person who does not become an introvert. I'm sorry, does not become an extrovert in the right environment. Every single introvert I have met is an extrovert screaming to come out. And I really want to challenge this concept that introverts, no. My brain, my body is screaming at the illogic of the human mind. The subconscious mind will do whatever it's being told to do. The subconscious mind will do whatever it's told to do. Now, you can either be the person telling your subconscious mind what to do, or you can allow other people to do that for you. The problem is we're not trained to do this. So when we're born, our subconscious minds are left wide open for anybody to come into our mind and tell us what they think we should be. So before we even have the ability to speak, we have people telling us what we should and shouldn't be. And no one is aware of this. I have never in my life seen a 6-month-old, a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old who did not open their voices and speak. At some point, that was taken away from each and every one of us. So when somebody says they're a wallflower or an introvert or they're shy, I call bullshit. I know subconscious minds too well. I know the mark of abuse when I see it. You have a voice for a reason. Why do you have a voice if you are meant to be a wallflower? That doesn't make any sense. That's like standing on legs, going, I was never meant to stand, but you have legs. What are you doing? The thing is, I see this most common in Asian people, a culture that absolutely cultivates obedience in their children. I know subconscious minds too well. There's a lot of illogic around the concept of an introvert. Now, you can be quiet, you can be contemplative, and you can be wise, and you can be observant. You can be pensive. You can be soft-spoken. This does not mean you're an introvert. I believe there is a toxicity to the concept of introvert. Because when you hear the word introvert, your mind immediately goes, oh, we got to be quiet because I'm an introvert. That's the program. Why are you putting that into your program? Some people just are not talkers. I understand that. That's fine. But you really need to make sure that you are not a talker because that's who you are. Or are you using that as a crux to get yourself around not dealing with your trauma? And that I have seen more times than not. People avoiding trauma and shadow work. I hate shadow work. That's a whole nother topic. But people avoiding doing the mental work by claiming they're an introvert because they don't want to open that box. But every bone in my body is screaming. A person is only as quiet in ratio to how much abuse they received as a child. The thing is, abuse is not always violence. Abuse can be a dirty look, a disapproving look that communicates in volumes, how dare you speak? That's abuse. Abuse can walk quietly, swiftly, fiercely, and sternly. The thing is, if it suppresses you from being who you truly are, it's abuse, no matter what tactics are used. Domesticated terrorism is horrific and often takes the shape of just a massively vast presence. The question is, were you afraid to speak? Your fear is the metric of abuse, not what was done to you, the level of fear. Were you afraid to talk? Were you afraid to be seen? Were you afraid to be heard? I'm just opening the door of the subject, and I'm opening it wide, and I'm looking at everything in here going, this room doesn't make sense. There's a lot of logical fallacy in here, and it's bugging me because this contradicts everything I've studied in the subconscious mind, and this doesn't make sense. I think there's a lot of unresolved mental issues in here that people just are not resolving, so they're hiding behind the concept of being an introvert. Is that you? At your own time, when you are ready, open the box. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you. May the kindest of words always find you.